because the Democrats are starting to freak out, right? We see them starting to panic. And I think I know why. Because it was interesting. Don't forget, not too long ago, about, say 4 years ago, remember they said that Donald Trump had no path to victory, that Hillary Clinton was going to be the next president of the United States. And then they were shocked when Donald Trump became our 45th president.
Yeah.
But since that day, every single day they have worked against this president. They've done everything possible to get him out of office. Russia collusion hoax, impeaching this president, every second of every minute of media coverage, a negative against this president, right? So I thought, well, gosh, the Democrats must be coming up with an amazing candidate to run against the greatest president in modern history. I thought for sure they'd search far and wide and they'd get a great person in there. And then they chose Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, Joe Biden? The same Joe Biden that, guys, don't forget, not too long ago was coming in like 3rd and 4th place in all of those primaries, remember? We still don't know on the Democrat side who won the Iowa caucuses, but we know it wasn't Joe Biden.
Yeah.
So that's the Joe Biden, the guy that half the time doesn't know where he is. The last I heard, he was running for Senate, I think, so maybe we pack this up, we're all good to go, right?
Yeah.
That's the guy the Democrats chose as their candidate to run against Donald J. Trump. Okay, so now they've got a big problem on their hands. I said, why Joe Biden? And then it dawned on me, I know why they chose Joe Biden. They chose him because they can control Joe Biden. And that is exactly what this is about. It is about control. Because Joe Biden, make no mistake about it, folks, he might be a nice old man, I'm sure he is, but he is a Trojan horse for the far-left radical socialists who are running the Democrat Party. And should he get his way and become the president of the United States, he would implement socialism in America. This country would, in his own words, be fundamentally transformed. Well, I've got news for him. In the words of our president, America will never be a socialist country, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
But see, I think they're starting to get nervous because if we're being honest, just this section of the front row is bigger than a Biden event, we'll call it. Right? It's not even a rally. These are like, okay,
am I in the way? Are you okay?
For that.
Oh, sorry.
Perfect.
No problem.
I'm trying to find a place to stay out of the way.
See Joe Biden. I mean, don't forget, yesterday, he wasn't going to come out of the basement at all. Did you hear this? 8 days before the presidential election, he said, I'm going to do no events. I've never heard of such a thing in my life. And yet, what did President Trump do yesterday? 3 different rallies with tens of thousands of people at him. Right?
4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
4 more years. Right. But don't forget also, last week, before the debate, did anybody watch the debate last week? How amazing was our president in that debate?
Yeah.
But before the debate, Joe Biden said, I need to rest up. He rested up for 5 days with less than 2 weeks to go before an election. He didn't come out. I guess he was home preparing, sleeping, snacking. I don't know what he's doing in the basement.
No one knows.
But Donald Trump doesn't need to do that. He was there doing 2 and 3 rallies a day, and then he went in and he owned Joe Biden in that debate.
Yep, he did.
But maybe this is a news flash for Joe. I don't know how things operated during the Obama-Biden administration, but being president of the United States is a 24/7 job. You don't take breaks, you don't rest, you don't sleep in the basement and have like midday cocoa. That is not what you do as president of the United States. There is one man who has shown certainly that he has the stamina to be president of the United States, and that's Donald J. Trump, right?
Yeah.
But aside from all that, if I were in charge of the Democrat Party, God forbid, I would be totally freaking out right now because not only does Joe Biden not have the stamina it takes to even campaign to be president. By the way, I tweeted last week, and I hate Twitter. I hate it. But I think my father-in-law is wearing off on me a little bit. And I tweeted, and then I became like obsessed with it, because every time I look back, more and more people were liking this tweet. But I think it is applicable here, because I said, I campaigned more for homecoming court in high school than Joe Biden is to become president of the United States.
Yeah.
What is going on with this guy? But they have a bigger problem, because see, Donald Trump actually delivered on his promises for the American people. Promises made, promises kept, right? He's delivered results for America, whether we're talking about the best economy in the world, the lowest unemployment numbers in many respects in the history of America, stock market record highs, renegotiating bad trade deals. We now have USMCA to replace NAFTA, which, don't forget, Joe Biden gave us and sent the manufacturing jobs out of America. And remember, Barack Obama said you'd have to have a magic wand to bring them back?
Yeah.
Well, I guess Donald Trump had it, because they came back by the hundreds of thousands to America under this president. And I guess it took a businessman to do all this, somebody that was outside of Washington, D.C., outside of the swamp. But this president kept his promises, like moving the American embassy in Israel to Jerusalem, like every other president said they would do. Donald Trump got it done. Rebuilt and revitalized our military. You know, when this president came into office, we were having to get spare parts off of airplanes to rebuild the fighter jets in America. And as soon as the president found that out, he said, whoa, that is not what we're doing. We need to have the strongest military in the entire world, but we never want to have to use it, right? Peace through strength. He is ending endless wars, bringing our troops back home. Do we have any veterans in the crowd today? Whoa, thank you. Amazing. Thank you for your service. This president made a promise in 2016 to take care of our veterans, and that is exactly what he has done. We owe everything to you folks. Thank you for your sacrifice for America. We're here because of you. And think about this one. This one must really burn up the Democrats. It is Donald Trump that is actually bringing peace to the Middle East, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. It's common sense stuff that this president has implemented, but it has been to the advantage of the American people. People have seen and felt the results of a Trump presidency. So on the other side of the coin, you got a guy like Joe Biden, who's been in this game for 47 years. Was he saving all the good ideas for the 48th? Why now would we ever take anything Joe Biden says seriously? Why wouldn't he have done the things prior to this, when he was vice president, when he was a senator? He's had a long time, almost 5 decades, to get things done. And the president always says this, and it is so accurate. Donald Trump has done more in 47 months than Joe Biden in 47 years.
Yeah.
Democrats have a bit of a problem on their hands. First of all, they chose Joe. Probably a bad decision there. Then they chose Kamala Harris. Farther left than the socialist himself, Bernie Sanders, and her voting record in the Senate. I mean, this is the person. So if you had any question as to what Joe Biden would be doing as president of the United States, wait, is it the Biden-Harris or Harris-Biden administration?
Harris-Biden.
Because I'm not sure how that works. I've heard it both ways, so it's probably interchangeable. But make no mistake, she would also be behind all of the socialist policies that Joe Biden wants to implement in America. And how about when he told us he's getting rid of our oil industry in America?
Ooh.
Don't for a second think that he hasn't said he's banning fracking. You know what we're doing at all the Trump rallies? We have the big jumbotrons up on either side of the president. We are playing on repeat the tapes of Joe Biden saying he's going to eliminate fracking, because the media is trying to tell you he didn't say that. They're trying to cover it up. YouTube's trying to take the videos down. I mean, it's really scary stuff, but leave it to Donald Trump to expose him, right? And now we see that the Russia collusion hoax wasn't on the Trump side. Turns out it's on the Biden side. Russia, $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife to his son Hunter, $1.5 billion from the Communist Chinese Party, millions and millions of dollars for the Biden family, all using Joe Biden's name while he was vice president of the United States. And it turns out, apparently he knew about it, and he lied about that too. So not that you need another reason not to vote for Joe Biden, but now the Democrats have a huge problem on their hands. So when you know that you got a bad candidate, when you know that this president has actually delivered for the American people, what do? You rig the system. 90 days out from a presidential election, the Democrats came up with universal vote by mail for everybody in this country. Well, a lot of states in this country. This has never been done in many states. Now, absentee voting has been done in many states. You guys do that right here in Florida, always have. But universal vote by mail, where you send millions of ballots out, you have no idea who receives them. I've heard stories of personal friends of ours who will get a ballot in the mail with their married name, with the maiden name, with their married name with the middle initial. People that lived at their house or apartment 2 or 3 tenants ago, they're receiving their mail and getting their ballots in the mail. They've got cats that have been dead for 12 years. True story, that have received mail-in ballots. A cat named Cody Timms, I believe that happened in Georgia. So, that is the plan for the Democrats. They're going to just cheat the American people, and they think that is the way they're going to win this election. But that's why you guys are so important. Because we have to win by such an overwhelming margin of victory on November 3rd that they cannot dispute the results of this election.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many dead cats they've got voting, Donald Trump will win fair and square 7 days from now, okay? That's the goal.
Yeah. Years. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
But you guys are the key. I want you to know that. Has anybody here voted already? Oh, nice. All right. So here's the key. Not only do I want to make sure everybody is voting early, but you got to get your friends and family and neighbors and coworkers out to vote early. Because I feel so lucky. I get to travel all over the country. I get to talk to people every day about my father-in-law, about our incredible president, which I love doing. But you guys are the key, because everybody in your neighborhood and communities knows you. They see you at the grocery store, at your kids' school, at church. They know you, and they will listen to you. So what you need to make sure is that you tell them not only to get out and vote early, and not just to vote for Donald Trump at the top of the ticket, but they got to vote for Republicans all the way down the ticket when they go in to vote. This is very important. Guys, Nancy Pelosi has been in the game long enough. She's tired, and she wants to go back home to San Francisco. She's got hair appointments set up, I think. She needs to get back for that. Let's take back the House on November 3rd as well.
Yeah.
And if you have a hard time remembering that, I just got off a bus tour a couple weeks ago with Diamond and Silk. Anybody know Diamond and Silk?
Yeah.
So I got to be on a bus with them for about 3 months in 2016. Greatest 3 months. We had the best time. But they have a line that'll be very good. It sticks in your head. So this is what they say. When you talk to people, make sure you tell them to vote red. R-E-D. Remove every Democrat.
Yeah.
That's what you have to tell them. It's very good. It sticks in your mind, right? I can't take credit. I would love to take credit for it. But I really sort of feel sad sometimes for Joe Biden. You know, he's got like 5 people that show up to these events. Did anyone see this weekend? He was like an angry man, like shouting at an empty parking lot. I mean, nobody is enthusiastic about Joe Biden. And my husband actually came up to me a couple of weekends ago. We only see each other maybe like one day on a weekend, FYI, because we're all campaigning all over the country. I think he's in Arizona and Nevada today. So I got to stay on the East Coast. I got to come to Florida today. So very excited. But he came into me and he goes, "Oh my gosh, you have to see this video." And so I said, "What is this?" He goes, "It's a Joe Biden car parade." Now let's back up for a moment. I know here in Florida you guys have seen the boat parades, the car caravans for President Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, these things are miles and miles long. Guys, we don't put those on from the campaign. Those are because people love this president enough, they organize that on their own. That tells you how much people love Donald Trump. That tells you where our enthusiasm is. So somebody must have felt bad for Joe. He didn't have any car parades or caravans, so they put one together for him. And my husband shows me this video, and I'm not even kidding, there were 4 cars. That is not an exaggeration, okay? And I said, oh my gosh, who posted this video? Thinking from the campaign we must have done it to like troll Joe Biden. He goes, Jill Biden posted this video. Yeah. Oh, I mean, they need help on a lot of fronts, but really, their social media. Well, we know they're getting help from the social media giants, aren't they? No.
Yeah.
I mean, how crazy is it that in this year of 2020, not only have we had to deal with a global pandemic and everything that has come from that, but now we see that as Republicans, as conservatives, we are being censored on the major outlets of social media around the world. They are hiding the Joe Biden, Hunter Biden scandal from America, but it's getting out. Is it getting out? Everybody knows about that?
Yeah.
It's getting out nonetheless. But that is why this election is so important. I know we hear every 4 years, this is the most important election, most important election. This is the most consequential election in the history of modern America. The difference between these two candidates couldn't be more vast. And I think we can all feel that this is not just about us here right now. This is on a spiritual level of sorts, this election, right?
Yeah.
I mean, truly, when you have one side saying we want to keep liquor stores open and casinos open, but we want to keep churches closed, when you have one side that is taking God out of the Pledge of Allegiance like we've seen the Democrats do, I don't think so. This country was founded on Judeo-Christian values. We want to keep those intact after this election as well.
Yeah.
Very important. So keep praying. It is vital. We have to keep praying. And by the way, how amazing is our new Supreme Court Justice, Amy Coney Barrett?
Yeah.
3 Supreme Court justices under this president. Oh my gosh, are they mad on the other side? Well, I mean, this is what happens. You've heard that President Obama said, you know, elections have consequences. Yes, they do. The American people spoke up in 2016. We voted for an outsider. We voted for a man that would actually represent our values, and he put 3 justices on the Supreme Court. It's amazing. She's gonna be great. They all look so crazy. How bad did the Democrats look? If you weren't sure that they had totally lost it, seeing the way they treated her when she had that confirmation hearing, seeing the senators ask her these ridiculous questions with her kids behind her, and they said, after they have all their notes laid out with all the gotcha questions highlighted by their staff for them, and they said, what do you have on your paper? She turned it over and it's just empty. She's like, I don't need anything. Ah!
Yeah.
Amazing. She's gonna be great. But look, I got to campaign in 2016 for my father-in-law, and I didn't have any kids in 2016. Now my dogs, Charlie and Ben, were very upset with me at the end of 3 months on the road because I was never home. And side note, if we're sending out mail-in ballots to just animals, I have 2 dogs, they're both voting for Donald Trump if they want to send some to my house. Just gonna put it out there. But 2016, I didn't have kids, and now having 2 children, I have a 1-year-old daughter named Carolina and a 3-year-old son named Luke, and I have to tell you, it's so hard when I leave every week to come out on the road. And now, not only do the kids know what my suitcase means, my dogs know what it means now too. I get a full guilt trip from everybody, but this is for them. This is not just for the next 4 years. This is about the next several generations in America. And it was Ronald Reagan that said, freedom is never more than a generation away from extinction. That has never been more relevant than it is right now. We have to fight for our freedoms. They are not guaranteed to us. And now it is time to fight. You know, we've got a fighter in Donald Trump in the White House, right? He has been fighting for us for 4 years, and he's accomplished incredible things. Although they lie about him all day, they fight him. If he says up, they say down. On the Democrat side, it doesn't matter. Now it's our time to fight for him, and it's our time to fight for the future of our country. And while it's tough being away from home and being away from my kids all week, I am so excited one day to tell them that I proudly got out and campaigned all around the country and stood up for their grandfather and campaigned alongside patriots and fought for the future of America with people like you who love this country, right? That's what it's all about. Don't forget, there's one flag that is flown around the world in countries where they face communism, tyranny, oppression, where they can't fly their own flag. They fly that flag, the American flag.
Yeah.
And I want my kids to grow up in the same America I got to grow up in. I remember saying the Pledge of Allegiance in school, standing proudly with my hand over my heart and standing up a little taller because I knew how lucky I was to be an American. They're trying to teach our kids in school right now to hate America. And we need to make sure we teach our kids to love America. And that's what President Donald Trump is fighting for. It's about the future, and it's about teaching people to respect and love this country. So guys, 7 days, it's not a lot of time, but every time I get off the road from wherever I've been, I talk to my father-in-law and he says, how do we feel? How do we feel in North Carolina? You know, he tasked me with winning my home state of North Carolina in 2016. So he's gonna ask me, although he was just here and now his home state of Florida, how do we feel in the state of Florida for Donald Trump?
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta tell you guys, it's the same feeling that we had 4 years ago. Are you guys feeling that too?
Yep.
I mean, I talk to my husband every night, and half the time I really don't even know where he is. But we say the same thing. There's no way that the amount of people that came out to see me are not going to go out and vote for Donald Trump. And whenever you see Joe Biden, and even I heard that President Obama had an event here today.
Where?
Now, how many people did he get at his event?
He had an event?
It's a private event. Does that translate into they couldn't get anybody to come? I don't know. Either way, it feels a lot like 2016. Here's a news flash for everybody. The polls are wrong, ladies and gentlemen, okay? In case you didn't need to hear it again. Don't forget, they told us in 2016, the day before the election, there was no path to victory for Donald Trump. By the way, where are the ladies here today? Let me hear from the ladies. Oh. You'll have to help me, ladies. I'm very confused. I didn't think women supported Donald Trump. I mean, don't listen to anything the media tells you. This is exactly why in 2016 I said everywhere I go, there's so many women that came up to me and they wanted to talk about Donald Trump and how they were voting for him. That's why we started our Women for Trump coalition. I see Women for Trump shirt and hat. And now we have a bright pink bus that says Women for Trump on the side. If you want to send us the address of your liberal neighbor, we will slow roll the bus by their house. It's a very fun thing to do. They won't even know it was you that called it in. You can send us the address. But they're wrong about so many things in the media. They're wrong about so many things on the Democrat side. I fully believe in the American people. We are smart. We are savvy. We know a good thing when we see it, and we know that that is President Donald Trump, okay?
Yeah.
So look, you guys have your marching orders. You know what you need to do. If you've already voted, make sure you get people out to vote for President Trump. They get the sticker, they get to post on social media. It's the greatest part of it. Not really. The greatest part is voting for Donald Trump, right? But everybody wants their sticker. It's very fun. But you got to get them out, and you got to make sure they vote Republican all the way down the ticket, because this is the reason we're going to win on November 3rd. And let me just give you guys just a little something to keep you going. Anybody remember the amazing feeling on November 8th, 2016 election day? Watching the mainstream media melt down, calling state after state for Donald Trump. Donald Trump wins Ohio. Donald Trump wins North Carolina. Donald Trump wins Florida.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a tip. When you're watching the results come in this time, I know what channel y'all all want to watch because we all put it on Fox. But if you want to see the most epic meltdown, turn it to CNN or MSNBC, because I'll tell you a secret. In the war room at Trump campaign headquarters on election night in 2016, that's what we were watching, because these people were losing their minds about Donald Trump winning states. It's the greatest thing ever. So that keeps you motivated. You have that in the back of your mind. And guys, I have to tell you, we're gonna win this thing, but let's shut it down early, okay? I don't want this going until 3 o'clock in the morning this time, okay?
Oh.
Let's do this one kindness for Joe Biden, because he goes to bed early, folks. I need him to know he lost. Before he goes to sleep on election night, let's shut this down at 10 p.m., okay?
Yeah.
Let's do that for Joe. That'll be our gift to him, our parting gift for him. But folks, I can promise you no one will work harder over the next 7 days than our family. We are in this together. We've been fighting together as a family since 2016. We're so proud to do it, and you guys make it worth it. Thank you for believing in my father-in-law. Thank you for loving this country. Thank you for fighting for this country, for fighting for our freedoms. And guys, I just got to tell you, we are absolutely getting 4 more years of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Thank you for